and welcome to Your Coaching Journey, a podcast for doctors about coaching. Whether you're a coaching doctor, a doctor who is learning to coach, or a doctor who'd like to build coaching into your professional life, then this is the podcast for you. Hello, I'm Tom Dillon, and with me today is my co-host and business partner, Helen Leathers. Good morning, Helen. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm feeling very stoical today.
Are you? If I'm honest, I'm feeling a little bit tired.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm determined to sound chirpy this morning.
Excellent.
I had a conversation with Pete, the podcast man, not so long ago. One of the episodes that we recorded last time, I said, Pete, I sound a bit flat. Maybe I was a bit tired, but it was the first episode we recorded that day, so it wasn't. So I just need to up my game a little bit. Come in, ready, raring to go.
And this is the first one we're recording today. So.
This is the first one.
You do sound very chirpy.
Excellent. That's what I'm aiming for. Let's see if I can keep it going for 20 minutes.
Fabulous. Now, we're talking about Stoic wisdom today, I believe.
We are talking about the Stoics, yes. It's a branch of philosophy founded in ancient Greece by Zeno of Citium.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. Early 3rd century, so it's been around a while.
It has been around a while, yes. Where shall we start?
Well, let's start with discussing what Stoicism is.
Okay.
I think it's a phrase that is used.
Yeah.
Commonly.
Yeah. He's very stoical.
Yeah.
Stop being so stoic.
I used that on my school report, but it wasn't that. It was stalwart. He is a stalwart of the first 15 rugby team. That's probably the most impressive thing anyone ever said about me at school. I was very impressed that he used this word stalwart. Anyway, back to the Stoics. So obviously started with the Greeks, as a lot of things did, taken on by the Romans many years later. So people like Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aureleus, they used this way of being to think about what was within our control. So they thought the secret to the good life was to know what was within our control, to attempt to control those things, our thoughts, our judgments, our actions, whilst accepting that other things are outside of our control.
Okay.
Which,
it makes sense.
Again, within coaching circles, that's a common way to think about things as well. And maybe a very cognitive behavioural way to think about things as well.
Yeah.
I think maybe Albert Ellis of the cognitive behavioural approach was very much of that view. Well, just stop thinking like that.
Easier said than done, Albert.
Yes. So the Stoics believe that virtue defined as wisdom, courage, justice and temperance, which we will recognise from the via character strengths that Martin Seligman and Chris Peterson devised, that look at virtues, that look at values in action, character strengths. Obviously, some of those come from this Stoic way of thinking about things. So the Stoics believed that way of being was at the foundation of true happiness.
Okay, so if we have wisdom, courage, a sense of justice and some temperance, we're going to be happy.
Yeah, and just accepting that external events and external elements like wealth, health, reputation are neither inherently good or bad, but we give them meaning. Our responses to those things give us meaning.
Doesn't sound very exciting, does it?
What did you want?
Well, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. I get it. Where's the fun?
Yeah.
The Stoics don't sound like fun.
No. Well, no, because that's why we use the word stoical in the way that we do.
Yeah. Clearly. Yeah.
So
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out
all right.
Where's the fun.
They want to laugh a minute. Give you that. So they thought that by cultivating rational thinking and emotional resilience, we would be steady in the face of adversity. And obviously, though, we're dealing with much more adversity than we are currently sat here in our nice, cosy living room. So Seneca, who was one of the Stoics, was constantly paranoid about being killed off. And eventually he was killed off.
Fell out of favour, did he?
He fell out of favour, yeah. So that's the world they were living in. And obviously you needed some stoicism to survive that world.
Yeah.
So they were very much interested in the practice of reflection, journaling.
Were they?
Yes, they liked a bit of journaling.
Mm-hmm. It's good to know.
Yeah, visualization, all that sort of stuff comes from the Stoics. So Stoicism gives us a practical framework, potentially, for living with clarity, purpose, inner calm, and facing uncertain challenges.
I can see that it would bring that calm. I think when you work on that sense of what you can control and sort of giving up the attachment to the things that you can't control, there is an inner sense of calm, isn't there?
So today I want to focus on Epictetus because he had some questions that we might find useful within the coaching room. So Epictetus was a Greek philosopher. He was born into slavery, spent decades being owned by another human being. So obviously his time, his body, all subject to someone else's authority. So he had no control over his circumstances, no power to change his situation, no choice about how his days would unfold. But obviously became a very influential philosopher. And mainly because of that total powerlessness that was forced upon him. And through that, he came to understand something that is difficult to grasp, that the vast majority of what occupies our mental energy exists entirely outside of our jurisdiction.
Interesting. It's funny, when I have this sort of image of Greek philosophers lying around discussing philosophy, I always think of them as kind of the elite, the privileged, having the time and space to do that. And yet here's someone who's clearly influenced a whole philosophical branch, who was completely at the other end of that spectrum, at the extreme end.
And his central teaching is absurdly simple, really. Some things are up to us and most things are not.
Okay.
Which is true. You know, when you think about all that's going on in the world at the moment, we have absolutely no control over any of it. And there is very little within our lives that we do have control over. Things are happening around us, aren't they, that we just don't have any control over.
Yeah.
And worrying about those things is pointless.
So stop it. Is that what
No,
you're trying
do
to
it.
think?
There's that line, isn't there, in sunscreen. Wear sunscreen. Worry, but know that it's about as useful as trying to solve algebra by chewing gum.
Yeah.
It's not actually going to solve anything. But we are going to do it anyway.
Yeah. It's part of our makeup generally, isn't it?
Yeah. So, again, that they would suggest that the source of our suffering is treating things like they're up to us, when actually they're not. You know,
We have to let
do
go.
with us, really, yeah. So, Epictetus's insight collapses into three questions. So almost diagnostic tools with actual answers rather than some sort of metaphorical way of being. And they work on whatever's currently consuming your musings, your ruminations,
Right.
whatever is troubling you.
Whatever's rolling around in your mind
Yes.
that's bothering you.
So the questions don't make the problem disappear, but they reveal whether you're working on a problem or just suffering a situation.
Oh, I like that. Working on a problem or suffering about a situation. Okay.
So
questions.
three questions. First question is, what can I do about this right now?
Right now.
Yes, and the right now matters.
It's quite specific.
It is. So it's not eventually, or once I figure out the perfect approach, or after I've thought about it some more.
Or once someone else has done that thing they need to do.
It's right now in this moment.
That's a really good question, isn't it?
So what's the action available to you that would address what you're worried about?
And if someone hasn't got anything that they can do about this right now,
Then we just stop thinking about it.
or try to.
Or try to.
Because it doesn't help. If there's nothing you can do about it right now, it doesn't help to spend that mental energy, that time, probably annoying your friends, talking about it. There's just nothing that can be done. So if there is something that can be done, a good place for
We just
coaching
need
and
to do it.
action. We just
And I think a lot of people come to coaching with an idea of what it is they could be doing, but they're just not doing it.
yeah.
And maybe there's some emotional and psychological barriers getting in the way, which is great coaching space. But if that question is, what can I do about it? If there is something they come up with, then we need to explore why they're not doing that thing. And they're just sitting, ruminating.
Thinking about action rather than taking it.
Yeah. So Epictetus would watch people exhaust themselves worrying about things they just couldn't affect. So going back to what we were saying about Seneca, so that, would the emperor make this decision or that one? Would the harvest be good? Would their reputation hold up? We've spent hours analysing all of those things. We're living a life of worry, aren't we? Over things that we can't control.
And people often get stuck there, don't they, in that rumination?
Yeah, so they'll know there's nothing they can do about what's going on right now, but continue to worry.
So why? Why do we do that?
Because we're predicting. We're making a prediction about what the future looks like. And it is just a prediction, isn't it? It's that story we're telling ourselves. We often talk about this. We're just telling ourselves a story of what the outcome might be when we have absolutely no idea. And as we very often discuss, it's probably better to tell ourselves a positive story.
Yeah.
And live with the positive story rather than continuing to live with the worry of a negative story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes I think when we ruminate over something, when we worry about it and spend that time on it, it feels like we're actually doing something. And we're not. But there's this illusion that we're engaged with the process, engaged with working through something.
Yeah, I feel like you're working hard on the problem. Actually, you aren't doing anything to solve the problem. You're just worrying about it.
Yeah, just becomes substitute for action, really.
Yeah.
So, good coaching material, I think.
So this is where the second question comes in, where we need to clarify whether this is about something that has happened, whether it's about something that might happen, or something that is actually happening.
Okay.
So now we're talking about time. Where does this sit in time?
So if it's something that's happened in the past, something that we're worrying about in the future, or something that's happening right now.
Yeah. And obviously, if it has happened, it's in the past, it can't be altered anyway.
No, it's done.
We can learn from it. We can reflect and consider what learning we might take from it. We can process our response to it, our emotional response maybe. We can decide how we're going to move forward, given that it's taken place, but we can't change it. So again, spending cognitive effort trying to rerun things and think about how it might have ended with if only I'd done this, if only I'd said that, trying to reimagine it, none of it is going to fix anything.
No.
And again, we'll do it, but it is pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you think about something that might happen in the future, and we've touched on that, the story that you tell yourself, it's hypothetical, isn't it? It's not occurred.
Yeah, it might never occur.
Might never occur. And you can plan for certain things, you can prepare for certain things. And I think, interestingly, in positive psychology, they talk about people who have a pessimistic attitude. It gives them confidence, I suppose, less stress if they plan for things. You and I are perhaps a little bit more optimistic, so we perhaps don't like to plan for things.
Although I think I do go into a bit of crisis management mode when things could potentially go wrong. I remember being on holiday in Italy and there was talk about strike at the airport by the ground crew. So the potentially flights weren't going to leave on the day that I was flying out of Italy and I needed to be back. And so I spent a good couple of hours in my room on my computer looking at possible ways to get back from Italy, from kind of Pisa region, without flying out of Pisa. So I looked at driving up to Nice and getting a flight. And then how would I do that with a rental car? Because I'd have to get a rental company that would allow me to drop it off. So it's all sorts of stuff was running. But the strike didn't happen. I made my flight. I got home.
I suppose that's contingency planning, isn't it?
But maybe there's a little bit of that is about catastrophizing.
Yeah.
If the strike happens. Because the strike, it wasn't actually happening. They're just talking about it happening. So I think, whilst both of us are quite optimistic, I think I do have a tendency to go to that place of catastrophizing and then do my scenario planning, possibly unnecessarily.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a bit too quick to do that, I think.
Well,
In certain circumstances.
there's a learning from today.
Yeah. Well, I know it. It's something I know already, but it's something that at times I still do. But it's under stress, isn't it? Had I not needed to get back, I wouldn't have done it. I'd have just gone, oh, well, I'll get a later flight.
Yeah.
I might stay here another week. But it was just that feeling like, well, I have to get back. So anyway, good. So, and obviously so again, spending time worrying about it is not useful if it's outside of our control.
Yeah. Suffering in advance.
Yes.
When suffering might not even need to occur.
And obviously, if whatever is happening in the present,
Yep.
that's where you potentially have some control and some authority. But our control is limited to our response, not necessarily to the situation itself. So again, there may be things happening that we have absolutely no control over. So the only thing we can control is our response to it.
Okay.
So that working with something real rather than something that's already completed that we can't do anything about, something hypothetical in the future, but something that we can actually give some thought to in the present. So this way of thinking about time, that temporal response to things, was Marcus Aurelius, who was another very well-known Stoic. So he governed his empire during plague, war, betrayal, political conspiracy. He could have spent every moment anxious about what was going to happen and replaying past failures, imagining future disasters. But when they look at his writings, it shows that he does ruthlessly sort out that, is this something in the past? Is it something in the future? Or is it something that's happening right now?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's written evidence that this was his way of processing and working through his thoughts.
Yeah, and he was looking at past events in terms of the lessons that he could learn. Future possibilities just got assessed for preparations that he could take. And then the present challenges got his full attention because that's the only place that he could do anything about it. So he's a bit like me, really. He wasn't naturally calm. You know, he was prone to anxiety and frustration, fear. But he trained himself to ask, when is this happening?
And then adjust his thinking around it.
Yeah. So past and future got very minimal processing, but the present got his maximum attention.
Interesting. It sounds useful.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so what's the third question?
Third question is, am I trying to solve a problem or trying to feel certain about an outcome?
Oh.
So they look quite similar, don't they? But they lead to completely different places, I think. So problem solving obviously has a structure. You identify the variables you control, you take action on those variables, assess results, adjust approach, and that uses energy quite efficiently because it's directed towards influence. So the seeking certainty has no structure because certainty about outcomes you don't control is impossible.
Yeah,
so there can be no certainty. And you can't make yourself certain about how someone else will respond, whether an opportunity will work out, what the long-term consequences of your choices will be.
Whether the ground crew will strike.
Yeah.
Whether you'll be able to get a car.
But just if you have a decision to make, whether it's a choice to make, you can never know, can you? That
No.
Just comes out over time. And so often we think, oh, well, that was a huge mistake. And then it leads to something else that is actually an opportunity. So we're never going to know. But we worry about whether that was the right choice or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, attempting to achieve certainty about any of those things is like attempting to achieve flight by thinking about really hard about physics. So the effort's real, but the goal's impossible.
Yeah. So it sounds like instead of working hard to gain that certainty that you're not going to gain, kind of reeling it back and clarifying and realizing I'm trying to get this certainty that I can't get and coming to terms with that so that you don't spend even more of your precious time and energy worrying about something that you're not going to get certainty over. And obviously, if you are solving a problem, then you're looking at that solution-focused approach of moving forward with it.
Yeah, and I think what often for future stuff, we're looking at things that are risk-free, aren't we? Let's make a decision that has absolutely no risk. And there's always going to be downside. There's pros and cons of every choice that we make, isn't that? So I think trying to get the perfect answer is, again, impossible. So lots of time ruminating and overthinking about paralysis. Oh, I say analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
We keep overthinking, trying to get the perfect answer when we just can't.
So you've presented these questions in this order. Were the Stoics going, this is my framework, these are the order in which I ask the questions, or were these 3 questions that they considered together?
I have no idea.
Okay, good. I'm just wondering, in the coaching space, whether one question...
Well, let's think about it right now.
Yeah, would one question... Because if you ask, what can you do about this right now? And someone says, well, I can't because it's been and gone. Your second question is moot because you've established that.
So if we start with question 2...
Okay.
And we can probably just deduce from the conversation whether it was something in the past or something happening now or something in the future. And obviously, if we're in a coaching space, there's very little that's actually happening now.
Yeah, right in this moment. Yes.
So it's, anything that they bring is really going to be something that that has happened that has caused some emotion. So it's that Aristotle's view, wasn't it, that men are troubled not by events, but by their thinking about the events. So if something has happened that they go, oh, this is awful, this has happened, then it's in the past. And all we're dealing with is their response to it, how they're thinking about it.
Yes, I think also there is space in the coaching room for people making decisions about something yet to come.
Yeah,
and wanting
so we're
to
in the future.
Look at something in the future. So we will clearly know as the coach, this is past, this is present, this is future. I guess the question is, do we ask the coachee about that, or do we just ask them the first question? What can you do about this right now?
I think maybe some playing back could replace the question.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this is something that's already happened, or it sounds like this is something that's happening in the future. So a bit of playing back of what it sounds like to you. We probably don't need to ask that question.
Yeah, that's useful to think about. Yeah.
And I'm not sure how often someone would say, oh, it's happening right now. This minute. Because it's not, is it? Everything is going to be,
no.
When I leave this room.
Yeah, but I think that's been a little bit pedantic.
Yeah, right.
Because they come to coaching with a very real scenario that is happening in the general sphere of now, rather than in this coaching space now, where they've got to go and make a decision. They are there to think about, I've just been offered voluntary redundancy, or I've got to choose which course I go on, and so that is useful then, isn't it? And
they could make a decision in the coaching
space. Yeah.
So decision making is perhaps happening now.
Yes. Or action planning or something like that. Like planning for the next step.
So asking question 2 first is good. And then maybe asking question 3, am I trying to solve a problem or trying to feel certain about an outcome?
But that could be good first as well, couldn't it, in some situations? Maybe if someone's stuck in telling you about the situation and keep coming back to that, like they're coming back to the problem, that would be a really great question there.
Yeah. Although I do think, again, that playing back, because you're going to get a sense of that from their story, aren't you? So you're going to be able to say, it sounds like you're trying to feel certain about the outcome here. Rather than trying to solve a problem, if that's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So playing back or asking that question could work.
Yeah. And I think you might get some pushback about that, almost the pointlessness of trying to be certain. I think people might go, well, but I need to know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I've certainly had conversations, not in the coaching space, but I've had conversations with people who have got that, I need to know, and they can't. And that's quite hard to navigate in the conversation. But I do think that when they go away and think about it, like the next time I've seen them, they've realised it's sort of filtered down into their awareness that actually, in that moment, I was quite caught up in the idea of being certain. And now I've had some time to let it sink in, process. I know I can't be.
Yeah, so I think in summary, I think these are really good areas of a situation to give some thought to. So what can I do about this right now? And if there isn't anything, then let's stop worrying about it. Is it something in the past, the present, or the future? I think that's really good to ascertain where it sits. And again, knowing that we can't do anything about the past, knowing that the future hasn't happened yet and might never happen, is really good. And then that, is this problem solved, or is it just trying to create some certainty that doesn't exist, that can never exist? So I think getting clarity on those three questions could be really good. And it might be done through playing back, or it could be done by explicitly asking those questions. But I think that's really useful.
Yeah, I think it is
good.
Brilliant. I like these questions.
We might talk about the Stoics some more in the future.
Okay. Can we bring a bit more fun into the Stoics?
Yeah. We'll talk about Epictetus and his whole approach to partying and drinking wine and
eating cheese. Yeah.
Being surrounded by friends, that sort of thing.
And doing the work that you love.
And doing the work that you love, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about him another time.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Helen.
Wonderful. Thank you for bringing the Stoics to the podcast.
What do we talk about next time, Helen?
I thought next time on the podcast we could have a presents part 2.
You got presents for me again. Oh, you are lovely. More presents.
Moving into presents.
Moving into presents.
So following on from something we did a while ago.
Yes, that would be interesting.
Lovely.
Excellent. Look forward to that. See you next time.
Bye
for now.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.